Hi guys, Coach Dennis here with Shut the F Up podcast. I'm here with my buddy Antonio.
What's going on?
It's been a while since I last seen you, man.
The last time we actually ran into each other was at Texas Live. We were doing a Friday, Saturday show. The jiu-jitsu tournament was going on, and then I think XKO was the next night.
Man, you have a great memory. That was
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But you were front and center though.
Yeah.
I don't know how you got those seats, bro, but you were right there. And you had a dope shirt on. And I think I tried to convince you to be a part of that jiu-jitsu tournament.
Oh, you did. You did. Yeah, I would love to do something like that in the future.
Yeah.
And the what do you guys call it?
It was what was it? Skilled violence.
Skilled violence, yeah.
Yeah, and you were gonna, obviously you would have been in the masters division.
Yeah.
Of course, you got, Professor Dennis in here ready to wreck it out. So how are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm blessed. Yeah.
Amen, man. What's been good?
Just working on my businesses, and my divorce has been final now for a little while, and
can you breathe?
That's cool. Yeah, I can breathe. I got a new girlfriend, Donna, that I wasn't
behind the scenes
that I wasn't planning on having, and but it happened, and it's all good. But yeah,
why is she zooming in on you right now?
I don't know.
Just playing. But man, I think I tell you, man, you've always been, when we've ever spoken to each other, going through life in general, you've always kind of been in a place of peace, man.
Yeah.
Like it's never like peaks and valleys. You've always been kind of just, balanced. You know what I mean? Is there a reason for that or what? You're supposed to be interviewing me.
Yeah. But you're such a good interviewer. That's what you do.
Hey, man.
So with your work, so it's like natural for you to like do what you do. But to answer your question, I don't know. I just been chilling. I've been through a lot growing up, so like now shit doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
So and then that's like the motto of our gym too, is roll with the punches. So like whatever life throws at you, you just got to roll with the punches. You got to figure it out.
Right.
And that's it. Just and then faith in God, obviously.
Dude,
that's the biggest.
I'll tell you, man. It's so interesting when good things happen. People like to take credit for those. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
humans
want to take credit for it, right? Like it's all me. But like you just said, when we have good things happen or bad, we got to give glory to God, because the bad could have been way worse than what it was, and the good could have never happened without His grace and mercy. Obviously, you went through a divorce. I've been through one before, and I'm glad that God opened the door to marry my wife. She's in the kitchen right now doing a Zoom call, but I'm glad that you're in my home. You and I, man, and whenever I've seen you with the weigh-ins, I didn't see you for a long time. And then you just popped up and I was like, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
But you've always been a guy that's always smiling, dude. Whether you know it or not, you always have this great vibe, comfortable energy, and you're just always, I don't want to say you're always in party mode, but it's just that vibe of there's always like a celebration going on, man.
Yeah.
And that's what you bring.
Yeah,
man.
like celebrate life. Like, why be sad all the time?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's just how I am. But yeah, I love talking to you, man. I love seeing you at the fights and everything, and like, and we're both so we're both a mulatto.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Like it's cool to see people like that and kind of get along and I knew that about you, and so like we kind of recognize each other. It's funny how that happens,
Well, it's always great to talk to you fighters and get an insight in your lives. This is new to me to be interviewed.
Yeah,
I'm always doing the interviewing.
Yeah, and I was wondering about your story too. How did you get into being the announcer at XKO, or how did you get involved with XKO, and what do you do besides XKO, or is that all you do?
No. So how did I get into announcing, and how did I get into XKO?
Yeah.
It started back in 2003. I was going to college for like broadcasting and public speaking and things like that, right? Well, a good friend of mine who was a professional wrestler and still is, Lance Hoyt, at the time he was working with a local wrestling company here in Arlington. And he said, dude, you got a great voice. Show up to this address. We do professional wrestling, and I want you to talk to Thomas and Chris Bussey. who you know
Yeah,
now
yeah,
as the owners of XKO.
yeah.
Back then, their family owned a wrestling company called Professional Championship Wrestling. It was on every Friday and Saturday on UPN 21. You guys probably don't remember what UPN 21 is. Um, and that's where the start was at in 2003, man. I started announcing for professional wrestling. I later became a character in the show. Yeah, man. I got beat up pretty often because I was a good guy.
Yeah.
I got beat
So
up.
were you doing wrestling as well too?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
wow,
man.
I remember UPN. I used to watch that. I didn't know that
Yeah.
was the local network.
Yeah, we came
Yeah.
on like around 11:30 at night
Okay.
when people were still at the bars getting drunk or things like that. But that's where I got my start, and it was great, man. It was a great rough ground. We learned how to do what we call vignettes, which is acting in front of the camera on a script. Did a little bit of wrestling. Eventually, the Bussies decided to finally close the doors on professional wrestling and open the doors on XKO. And I want to say that was around between 2006, 2009.
Mm.
And then I transitioned to go into commentating, not announcing, but being a commentator and an interviewer.
Mm.
Then it later became commentating, interviewing, and announcing. So I was doing three things in one night. And so that's where we are now. And I've been doing that for almost 20 years for XKO and other promotions.
So is that what you do for a living, primarily?
No,
Or?
no. My full-time job is I work for a manufacturing company. A lot of people don't know this, but for the past 11 years, I've been what my wife calls a milkman. So we make the company I work for. We make specialty products like the silk brand, coconut, almond, cashew milks,
Oh wow.
the soy milks. We actually physically make that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So the last 11 years, I've been making milk. When I'm not announcing in a three-piece suit, I'm making milk. I'm in there grinding, throwing 50-pound bags.
Oh dang, you're actually making the milk.
I'm actually physically making milk.
Dang.
Dude, I'm getting dirty, bro.
That's crazy.
I'm a hard worker, man. I'm working 12-hour shifts.
That's how you stay in shape, huh?
Man, dude. Just trying to live right, man.
Yeah, that's a hard work.
Yes, sir.
That's a good way to stay in shape and not have to be focusing in the gym so much.
Well,
so where'd you grow up? Did you grow up in Arlington?
No, man. So my parents were both in the Navy. My mother and father were both Navy. My mother was a chief petty medical officer. My father was ordnance, which installs the explosive and ejection jets, missiles on jets. And my stepdad was the chief of the catapult on the Carl Vinson. So it was really growing up like was like boot camp for me, man.
Oh wow.
I was born in Maryland, grew up in California, Bay Area, lived in Hawaii, Ohio, and then eventually migrated to Texas. Been here since 2000.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So does that make me an official Texan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're Texan.
I'll own it. Yeah.
So do you ever go back home and visit?
You know, man, I call her my sister, man. She just moved here, Ebony. She lives in Austin, and she's visiting us tonight, this weekend. She's from Ohio, and there's times that I'll go and visit in Ohio. I haven't been back to California in a long time. So I've got a lot of family here and a lot of family in Ohio. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So then did you always want to get into broadcasting?
Yes, man. Yes. And I'll tell you, it's crazy. I'm an only child, right? And so when you're an only child, you have to find creative ways to keep yourself entertained when it's raining and nobody wants to go outside and play, right?
Yeah.
So you got to keep yourself entertained. And little did I know, man, what God had planned for my life to get into broadcasting or announcing or public speaking. My mom bought me this little Fisher Price voice recorder, right? And I remember I would record commercials and play them back in my own voice and hear it. And it would keep me occupied. And it was just one of those things. And who would have known that I'm pretty much doing that now?
That's
for fun.
Cool. Yeah.
So, and getting paid. So, yep.
That's awesome, man.
Yes, sir.
So what are some things about the wrestling that you liked about it? Like professional wrestling. Have you seen the movie The Wrestler?
I have seen the movie The Wrestler. Yeah.
With Mickey Rourke.
With Mickey Rourke, dude.
Yeah, that's a good movie. So was your experience like that, or was it like a little bit different than that? Or
my experience is a little bit different. When we talk about wrestling, my experience was I wasn't a full wrestler. Like I wasn't a full-time wrestler. I was more of a character, integrated. But like the movie The Wrestler, these men and women, they really break their bodies down. Like what you see is a lot of them are on the road, a lot of them are traveling, a lot of them are away from their families, a lot of them are beat up and broken. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for a lot of them, they put a lot of mileage on their bodies. I've had my fair share of injuries, but nothing compared to some of the wrestlers that I'm still in contact with today, dude. I'm talking aches and pains, barely able to walk. And so the movie, it does give a very close tribute to what it was like in the backstage. Absolutely. And so my experience wasn't that intense, but yeah, I did have my fair share of injuries, but it was more a spectator sport. Absolutely.
Yeah. So do you miss it?
Yeah, I miss some things about it, man. We had a show every weekend.
Yeah.
Every weekend during the locker room around guys that men and women that become like family. You know what I mean? Every weekend, you know, you have your full-time job Monday through Thursday. And then Friday and Saturday, you're back up in there with the lights. You're on live TV. And it's something to look forward to. And you get to beat each other up.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Then have a beer afterward.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Having fun.
Mm-hmm.
So did you guys have classes like they would train you how to
Yeah.
wrestle, or would you guys work on your scripts and all that, like acting and
Yeah,
and going
absolutely.
through the
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there was, you know, it was acting.
Mhm.
And there were scripts involved. And I was absolutely horrible at it.
What was the name of your character?
I was just Antonio, the general manager.
Oh, okay.
But I was absolutely horrible when it came to recording. Thomas would tell you, dude, once I got in front of the camera and I saw the little red light, it would take me almost 15 takes to get just my lines out. Because I would laugh, I'd screw the lines up, but it was fun. If you know you have a match coming up, you got to get with the individual, work your stuff out, man. And people ask, "Is it real?" Yeah, you really get hurt out there. If you're hurt, you're really getting hurt.
Yeah.
And so, for people that want to test it out, just like in your jujitsu schools, come off the street. Yeah, if you're not tapping now, you'll do tapping later.
Yeah.
That's how real it is. Yeah. So, but it was a good time, man.
So did you have a finishing move or super move? Or
No, I
anything
never
like that?
had. I never had like I think I had a finishing move. I tried to borrow something from The Rock,
Yeah.
like the rock bottom, like a modified rock bottom, I think. But
Did you have a walkout song?
I did have a walkout. If you go
Yeah.
to YouTube and type in Antonio PCW, you'll see it, dude. It's cheesy.
Cringy?
It's kind of cringy. It's cheesy,
Yeah.
but it's fun, dude. It's just a part of your life, man.
And then from there, they switched over to XKO. And so when did you get involved and start watching MMA?
Dude, I was watching MMA when it was hard to get. Back when it was on VHS tape, and you just knew of a friend who had like that low down dirty apartment,
Yeah.
and they were watching these illegal fights like nobody ever heard of. That's when I started watching UFC.
2013?
Yeah, well, no, I'm talking like way back in the day with Tank Abbott.
No, not 1993.
Yeah,
1993.
yeah, I'm talking like when Tank Abbott is out there.
Yeah, 93. Yeah,
yeah, man, the Gracies.
This is way back.
Way back in the day,
Yeah,
dude.
93. Yeah,
And then of course it sped up to when you're watching Chuck Liddell, you're watching Randy Couture, and that was around 06 when we really started talking about doing our own thing. And it was my first meeting with MMA fighters, and you guys are just a different breed. Like it was one thing to meet wrestlers, entertainment, but MMA fighters were a different breed. They were gritty, they were raw, they were just guys that were chewing on nails and spitting out glass. It was a different individual.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But to us, it's normal.
Absolutely, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, we don't even notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys were just a different breed, and it was really interesting to get involved with that.
Yeah, because I guess with the wrestling, you're dealing with more like actors, like
Pretty much.
thespians. Yeah.
Yeah, then they're all athletes.
Yeah, athletes
Yeah.
And actors. Yeah, exactly. And it's a different mindset. Because
Absolutely.
like the fighters, most of them don't care about being an athlete. They
No.
just care about winning the fight. You know what I mean? Winning the competition. That's it.
You know, and MMA fighters back then, dude, it was just training hard.
Yeah.
It was about respect. And it wasn't about being liked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was in there getting a job done and doing it well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty cool. And then you got to see like the transitions, and you guys put in some really good fights, man. A lot of guys
Mhm.
that come through XKO get into like Bellator, UFC, or some of the bigger promotions. So it's a good feeder program, and you guys have had some really good fights on there.
You know, we've had some great fighters come through like yourself. You fought on our cards, man. You know, you're an entertaining fighter. We've had over 20 fighters get funneled up to the UFC. One of them just retired, Stephen Ocho Peterson, who was one of our first champions at XKO, just retired this past Saturday, which was last night. And he was an entertaining fighter.
Yeah.
And he's a scrappy guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's a gritty guy, man, and a lot of no quit in him. So
that's what I noticed about the Texas fighters. They all have grit.
Yes.
They all have grit, man. They're just tough as nails. Like you're gonna have a fight. Win or lose, it's gonna be a battle. Yeah.
And so yeah, it was exciting to see that with XKO and watch a transition and you watch guys, you know, successfully have a career, going to Bellator, going to UFC, and you get to be a part of that. You know what I mean? And a lot of them, like Kevin Holland, comes back to commentate at XKO and they give back.
Yeah.
You know, and they're accessible, and it's so beautiful to see that.
So from the wrestling, you got into the broadcasting, got into the interviewing and the commentating. Out of those three, what do you like the best?
I really enjoyed the interviewing.
The interviewing?
Because you really get a chance to tap the pulse of each individual fighter.
Yeah.
Before or after the fight.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
But yeah, but you're such a good announcer too.
Hey, appreciate it.
And getting them pumped, you know. So do you have like a signature? You know how like some guys have like, let's get ready to rumble, or it's time, or did you ever think about something like that?
Dude, I'm always thinking of something, but it never sounds good when you say it out loud.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't nailed
anything.
Still working on it, man. And wherever we're at, whatever the venue is, I use that as the catalyst to try to get the crowd going. Yeah. But no, I don't have a catchphrase yet. And it's easier said than done.
Yeah, because there's only two catchphrases in all of combat sports. It's "Let's get ready to rumble" and "It's time," and they're both brothers.
Yes,
Bruce Buffer and Michael Buffer, and that's it. It's not like there's a million phrases that everybody says. It's like two things, and you know, that people know.
Right, and it's hard, man. You know, and those two phrases have just taken off.
Yeah,
and they're in movies, man. And I was watching the UFC this past weekend, and the crowd in San Antonio was blowing up. Yeah, when Bruce gets out there, and it's so awesome. Man.
So who do you like better, Bruce or Michael?
I like them both equally for different reasons.
Yeah,
you know, I like Michael Buffer for the class that he's always bringing. But Bruce even said in his book, he's like a shot of whiskey. You know what I mean? Yeah. When he gets out there, he's not refined, man. He's just that shot of bourbon or that shot of whiskey that just wants to get you dirty and get you going. So,
who do you think has a better voice?
Man, they equally have their own style, man. Yeah. I don't think one's better than the other. I think it's just a different flavor. It's like the difference between why you like a exotic sports car versus why you like American muscle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then, so did you ever want to get into MMA or anything like that?
You know, I started doing that when we were doing the wrestling and the MMA. We had built the cage, and we were looking at it, and we're like looking at each other like, well, somebody's got to get in there and test this thing out. So, man, for months, we were beating the crap out of each other. We had a couple of MMA fighters get in there and train with us and train us, just getting bloodied up and bruised. And man, I enjoyed it, dude. Yeah. I enjoyed it, man. And there came a point where injuries came into play. Yeah. And I had to like just heal and step away. And then eventually you just need to listen to your body. And so there was only a limit that I could take. Yeah. And so getting in the gym and lifting weights was where I was at, man. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's your thing, is lifting weights. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to get back to it.
Yeah. When you're lifting at your peak, how often do you normally?
Dude, so I was working at my regular job like 60 hours a week, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah, a lot of hours, bro. And so I would be at work at 6 a.m, but I would get up and get to the gym at 4 a.m. Get to the gym at 4 a.m., have a good workout, and then be at work at 6.
So what time do you have to get up? I mean, go to bed. Do you have to go to bed for that?
And that's the sacrifice, man. Yeah. People want to get up early in the morning, but there's a sacrifice. You got to get to bed probably around 8:30 at night.
God damn.
And that's a sacrifice, man. Yeah. And there's not a lot of time to talk to my wife or spend time with our dogs or do things around the house. And so you got to rush. And it's a sacrifice, and it sucks at times. It does.
Yeah. And what time do you get up?
I try to get up around 3:15, 3:30 in the morning.
God, dang.
Yeah.
I think that's the time I'm going to bed.
Oh,
Like I'm getting
dude.
into bed at 3:15.
Hey, dude.
Man,
I say get a part of the day before you have to give it away to everybody else.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Get that little piece of the pie before everybody else gets it, and then you're drained. So
Mm,
get yours before you have to give it away.
that's a good mentality. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to try that. I'll let you know how it goes. I don't know
Hey,
how quickly I'm gonna do it or
all right,
how
well,
soon.
you let me know, man. I mean, I'll be back hopefully in the gym once I start healing up. Hopefully, I'll be in the gym at 4 a.m. eventually, man. But right now, it's got to take the time to heal and my body recover, man.
Yeah. So for those people who don't know and maybe
Yeah.
just kind of heard through the grapevine rumors or maybe they saw something on social media,
Mhm.
talk us through what's been going on with you with your accident and stuff like that.
So January 6th, almost over 2.5 months ago, I was involved in a motorcycle accident. Pretty horrific, man. Um, not to take anything lightly, man. It almost took my life. Bottom line, it almost took my life. I was on my sport bike. I've been riding Harleys for years. And then I came across buying a sport bike. My buddy and I were riding home one night and had an accident. As long as I've been riding, you always look for a way out
Mm,
when you're riding, just in case something happens. In this unfortunate evening, um, all my options were exhausted.
mm.
All my ways out were exhausted. And I just tried to just do what I could to make it less um, damaging.
How fast do you think you're going?
At this point, I was going the speed limit. It was
Mm.
braking. My lane was open. A car came
What
into
was the
my
speed
lane.
limit? Do you remember?
The speed limit on the highway was about 75, 80, around that.
Oh wow.
And when you're on a sport bike, you're doing, if the speed limit is 70, if you're on a sport bike or a Harley, you're usually doing 80, 90
Mm,
because you want to go faster than the speed of traffic or slower, but
mm,
you want to go faster than the speed of traffic. My lane was open. Two cars came on the highway. One car came into my lane. I started braking, downshifting. Um, at that point, I knew I was at the speed limit. Um, I tried to split the lane the best I could. There wasn't a lot of options left in that moment. I made contact with the car in front of me, and then it was lights out. I felt the impact, and I was calm. And then it was just black. Um, I woke up to somebody shaking me on the ground. I was hardly able to breathe. It was my right lung had sustained a lot of damage. I could just feel I was gasping for air. Somebody was holding me on the ground. There was a lady standing above me on a cell phone crying. The guy that was behind me on his bike, my buddy, he grabs my phone. He says, "Hey man, I have to unlock your phone so I can call your wife." So I put my thumbprint on it, and I just remember something that I never ever want to hear. And he's saying, Shalee, Antonio was involved in a very serious accident, and it's not looking good. And so I'm hearing that, and I can hear her in the other room talking. I can hear her, so um, it was just not something that I wanted to hear.
mm.
You know what I mean? Um, I was calm. I didn't feel any pain. I found out later on why I didn't, but I didn't see anything other than just looking up because I couldn't move.
Mm.
I was asking, am I going to lose my foot? But I couldn't feel it and I couldn't see it. I don't know how long I was laying there, but um, I remember this guy saying, "Hey, I was in the Army for 4 years and I got to put a tourniquet on your leg." I said, "Okay, all right." I felt the tourniquet on my leg. At that time, I was bleeding out internally. Um, the ambulance came. They were in a hurry. I could feel that they were in a hurry. Once they put me in the backboard, it hurt so bad on my back because at the time, all my ribs were broken.
Mm.
Um, the backboard just hurt so bad.
That hurt more than your leg?
It hurt. I couldn't feel my leg.
Oh, wow.
I later found out weeks afterward when I spoke to the surgeon that the fibula and tibula were completely severed in half. It was a compound fracture. The bone was coming through the leg. The ankle was completely decimated, like I had stepped on a bomb. The nerve was severed, which is why I couldn't feel anything below my knee.
Mm.
I was losing so much blood. My wife was on the phone with one of the ambulance first responders and said, "We can't talk. We got to go." Um, I I never wanted my wife to ever hear about me being in an accident like that. I never wanted her to feel that kind of pain. Um, I blacked out in the ambulance. I later talked to the surgeon who said there were two guys, one of them being me, that was rushed in the ER. And the second guy was screaming, not related to the accident. He had a pelvis injury and he was just screaming in the hallway. And he said, the surgeon told me later on, months later after I was out of the hospital, he said that the surgeon in the room said, "We got to get in here. This guy's dying." And I asked my surgeon, I said, "Well, did you guys save him? Is he okay?" And he said, "He was talking about you." And to hear somebody tell you that you're dying, it changes a lot of things in your life. I later spoke to the trauma surgeon who saved my life, and he said that you were about to be in cardiac arrest. And if this guy didn't put the tourniquet on you, you would have died immediately in the ambulance. The guy shows up, doesn't give his name, and just disappears. And that was my angel. You know, that night, God just had his hand on me, man.
So that was at night?
That was that night.
What time did you think you had the accident?
So he told the lady next to me, "Remember this time, 9:27." And
At
then
night?
he just, and he just disappears. He walks off. He doesn't give his name.
So where were you guys heading? Were you heading home?
I was heading home.
Wow.
And it's just crazy, man. God was in that moment, dude. He brought this guy, an angel, saved me. The trauma surgeon even told me, he said, "Dude, we didn't have time for x-rays. We didn't have time for a CT. We had to just open you up and see what was going on." My wife showed up. My mom showed up to the hospital. Come to find out, they were working on me for about 6 hours. They came out and said that it's touch and go. Finally, they came out and said that we got him stabilized. I was sedated for 6 days. 6 days I was sedated in ICU on a ventilator. My liver was completely lacerated. They had to piece it back together. My ribs were all broken. They had to remove my right foot below the knee. There was some complications with the surgery. They had to go in through my rear to the back to go to my lung. I had blood clots in my lung. They had to deflate it, reinflate it. Road rash. I mean, you name it. And then I had a hematoma develop on my right leg. I was getting pints of blood in. One surgeon, Dr. Burris, she decided to just go in and repair it. Had she not done that, she said the whole tissue on my right leg would have been gone, like a great white shark would have eaten it. God was in every facet of the situation. He wrapped his arms around me while my body was being dragged around the ground. He was there when he allowed an angel of his to put a tourniquet on my leg. He was there with the first responders to get me to the hospital. He was there with Dr. I only know his first name, Dr. Amos, Dr. Burris, Dr. Holland, who did the surgery on my leg. Dude, God was in every step, dude. I was in ICU for 3 weeks. I started to have ICU delirium.
Oh, wow.
From lack of sleep, the medication. I was thinking I was in different rooms.
Oh, wow.
Dude, I thought I was in a theater at one point. I thought I was in a dock, like a boating dock area. I thought I was in a lobby. I thought I was in a driveway. Dude, I thought I was in different places, man. It was completely just, freaked out. Yeah. So it was rough, man. God was with me the whole way, bro. Straight up.
Wow. And so, how long were you in ICU?
So I was in ICU for 3 weeks. I was later admitted to a regular hospital room for a week. And then I was discharged from the hospital to go to a rehabilitation facility where I would learn to get dressed, brush my teeth, prepare for me to go home. I was there for about 2 weeks. And man, that was rough, dude.
Yeah.
It was rough, but it was exhilarating, man.
What was the roughest parts about it?
My hat's off. The roughest part was being turned over left and right in the bed because my ribs were all broken. And when you're turned over, most excruciating pain, dude, ever. I lost 50 pounds of muscle. I was super weak. I had to use a bathroom in the bed. And my hat's off to any and all nurses and healthcare workers, nurses in ICU. My hat's off to you. I experienced everything. And not only did they repair me, they kept my dignity. They had to clean me, dress me. Dude, nurses do not get enough credit, bro. I was in it. I was in it, dude. I couldn't wipe myself. I couldn't clean myself. They were in it. I couldn't change. I was strapped to the bed. And these nurses did everything to get me back to being healthy, bro. The roughest part was sitting up. I remember I had to sit up to get up out of the bed, and I was so weak. Dude, just lifting my arms was like 80-pound weights. Yeah.
Gosh, dang.
And so,
yeah, because you've always been a strong guy, and you've always been in the gym, and even work at your job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've always been, solid. Just and then to you that was normal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Being big and strong, and then to go from that to
Oh, it was a shock, bro. I struggled there was a point where I was struggling to brush my teeth.
Jeez.
That was a struggle at one point. So I'm home. I've been home for probably 5 weeks. I have PT that comes to the house to help me to learn how to walk. I'm in a wheelchair. But I'll tell you, dude, it's awesome. It is so awesome, bro. I have freedom in my wheelchair. We're moving forward, dude. I got to be honest with you. When they took my leg, I wasn't angry about it. Was not the least bit mad, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was lucky to be alive.
Yeah. So were you awake when they took your leg?
Oh, absolutely not, bro. Yeah. Absolutely not.
No, I meant when they gave you the news that they're
I thought you meant like the surgery.
No. When they gave you did they tell you hey, we're gonna have to take your leg, or did you wake up and it was already gone?
No. They told me they had to take the leg.
Okay.
And I was like, all right. That's cool.
Mm.
You know, I mean, there's not much I can do with
Do you
it.
think that would have been easier than waking up and it already be gone, or you think it's easier for them
Nah.
to tell you, "Hey, here's what we got to do"?
No, man, either way, because I was hip to the fact that I was still alive, that I was spared.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I'm not even the least bit mad that I lost my foot.
yeah.
You know
He's
what I'm
glad to
saying?
be alive.
I'm glad to be alive.
Yeah.
We have advances in prosthetics.
Mm-hmm.
So, dude, I've got a full life ahead of me, bro.
You got your family and your
Yeah,
friends and your work and
dude. When I was in the
everything.
bed,
Yeah.
I was like, I can't wait to get in a wheelchair.
Uh huh.
Then I can't wait to get on my walker.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can't wait to get my prosthetic.
Yeah.
And then I can't wait to get back and start walking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So every corner, there's hope and there's a progression. And what do I have to be upset about, man?
Yeah.
Really? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've got full function. I'm here. Dude, what do I have to be upset about, bro?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, how do you feel about bikes now?
I still love them.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you what, today was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
If I could get on my Harley right now, I would be on it.
So, you think you're gonna start riding again?
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
I will not. My wife said, don't get on a sport bike again. I said, okay. Okay. But she said, you want to get on your Harley? Give it time. Give it about a year and
Yeah.
you're fine. I said, absolutely. So I still love riding.
Yeah. Just no
nothing
more
bad.
sport bikes. Just no more.
Yeah, because I mean, that's a big temptation, dude.
Yeah.
That's a big temptation.
Yeah. Dang.
Because it's so much fun.
Yeah. What's the fastest you think you've ever gone on a sport bike?
Oh, dude. I think once I went up to like 150 on my sport bike.
Wow.
But it was like an way big open country road, nothing around. And I was only in there for a few seconds and I was like, this is really fast. let me back this off.
That's how you know it's fast when you do that.
Dude, I know.
How fast could it get to 0 to 60?
Dude, all I know, it was quick.
Yeah.
You take a deep breath and you're there.
Oh wow.
You're gone, bro.
Dang.
You're gone.
Speed of light, man.
But that's the helmet that I was wearing the night of the accident.
Look at this. I'll show it.
Yeah.
Look at that. I think it's busted up, man.
Yeah. That side looks clean.
Yeah.
The other side looks pretty rough, man.
Yeah, it is busted up. But it saved your life.
The thing is, the front of the helmet, so that's a modular helmet. So the front, there's a massive piece that comes up that protects your face. Well, that got completely ripped off.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that's at.
So do you normally wear helmets even on your Harley?
So on my sport bikes, I always wear a full helmet. On my Harley, I'll either wear a half helmet or I'll wear a full helmet.
Oh, okay.
Depending on the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think you're gonna do now? Just the same thing, half or full?
Dude, now I'll be wearing a full helmet.
Always?
Well, yeah, because look at that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here.
I can imagine. I don't understand how people even ride without a helmet at all. That's insane.
It's because it feels good.
Cracks, man. That's crazy. I don't even ride at all, man.
Yeah, I love it, man. It's a freedom to it. But somebody was saying, dude, your story is this, and I got to tell you, dude, the story. The more that I talk about this, it's less about me and more about God. Because all throughout it, man, God placed people in specific situations, not only to help me, bro. You don't get it, but to let me know that He is with me. That He's like, Tony, I am with you every step of the way. I'm talking the surgeons are Christians, they're believers, dude. Dude, I'm talking about the wound care nurse at the rehabilitation facility prayed with me. Every day she came in to change my wounds. She prayed with me. The ambulance driver, dude. The ambulance driver to my first appointment leaving to go to the hospital was a youth pastor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God is so good, dude. And
I'm sure you could feel His presence during the whole thing too.
Absolutely, bro.
The whole thing. And
we tend to not acknowledge Him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I told you.
Yeah.
When good things happen, it's all us.
Yeah.
When bad things happen, that's God punishing me.
Yeah.
Dude, this is not a weakness. This is God being strong because He spared me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This can be a weakness if I let it.
Yeah, yeah.
But as God, my buddy came over to the house yesterday and he said, God is trusting you with this. And I was confused. I was like, what are you talking about? God is trusting me with this. And God knew by putting me through this that I would still rely on him, that I would still seek him and thank him every day I get up. Thank you, God, for getting me up every morning. Thank you for putting air in my lungs. Not to curse God for this. You know what I mean? He trusted me to know that I'm going to tell the next person, dude, I'm missing a right foot. And I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you the truth. This saved my marriage.
Yeah.
I was working 60 hours a week. I was hardly at home a lot. My wife and I were not seeing eye to eye on a lot of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I started to try to seek things to fill the gaps in my marriage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was causing damage to my marriage. You know what I'm saying, dude?
Yeah.
And neither one of us are perfect.
Yeah.
But we were missing the mark. She was missing the mark on this. I was missing the mark on that. And my buddy from my church, bro, sorry.
No, you get it.
A buddy from my church came in the hospital and he said, Tony, God chose the wreckage.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you talking about, dude? What are you? And I'm medicated, so I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? God chose the wreckage that night. God could have gotten you home safely, but your wreckage could have been your marriage. And who knows if you could have recovered from that.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. Wow. So he allowed this.
Yeah.
So that I could save my marriage.
Yeah.
And this woman, dude, she was making appointments for people to come and see me. You know what I mean? And I was blown away by the people that wanted to come and visit me.
Yeah.
All of you that came to visit, man, my heart goes out to you. Thank you. Co-workers, friends, family. You just don't know what that does to a person, bro.
Yeah.
You just do not know what that does. And then I come home and my wife is moving a mile a minute, running to Home Depot. We have contractors in our house, building a ramp, expanding doorways. She's redoing the whole house just so she can accommodate me in my situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This woman, I remember, I kid you not, one day I get up in the morning, she has 1 cup of coffee and doesn't eat until 9 o'clock that night and has a Red Bull in between. I'm like, girl, you're going to end up in the hospital if you don't eat. But that's who she is, man. She's got drive. And so, man, life is good, dude.
Yeah.
It is not perfect. I wake up every day with pain. I wake up every day thanking God.
Yeah.
I try not to get stuck in my pain. I try not to get stuck in my wife's frustration or my frustration.
Yeah.
You just got to keep pushing, bro. Yeah. And that's my dogs you probably hear, but yeah, man. Life is good, bro.
Yeah.
Life is great.
So what's the game plan going forward?
Game is just to get up every morning.
Yeah.
Get better. Get stronger. Get my legs stronger. Get my body stronger. Get back to get the 50 pounds of muscle that I lost, dude. And get back to a normal way of living. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My job is like, hey, we're here when you're ready to come back. Get ready to put the prosthetic on. We went to a training facility that is all about working with amputees that not only build the body, but they build the spirit up. So I want to work with them.
Where's that at?
It's in Carrollton.
Oh,
it's called ATF. What is it called, babe? Adaptive training facility. I want to work with them to get my body back and get my mind right again too. Eventually get back into announcing.
Yeah.
I want to walk. I want to walk back in the cage and announce.
Nice.
I want to walk back in the cage, bro. I was in ICU. It's been 20 years since I've missed an event.
Wow.
20 years. since I've missed an event. My wife and I were sitting in ICU. She had her laptop, and we watched XKO in January.
And I think Chris did the announcing. Is
he
that
did the announcing, bro? And we watched.
Chris Bussey, yeah.
He said, Antonio's not here. He was in a horrific accident, and the love from the crowd, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't stop crying, dude.
Yeah.
I think I stopped crying by the third fight.
Wow. And I remember him saying, he's like, I don't know how Antonio does it. He's like, I'm exhausted. He's like, I've lost my voice. I can't talk. He's like, it wore me out.
Yeah, man. People sneak in Red Bulls when I'm announcing, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. and warm lemon water. That helps, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's true, man. I need to start practicing some of that stuff when my voice starts getting like that.
Yeah.
But I'll take your tips.
But yeah, it's time to get back to a normal way of living. I want to drive eventually. Right now, I'm not driving.
Yeah.
No way, man. But yeah, man, I want to go skiing again, dude.
Yeah. Swimming.
I want to walk my dogs. I want my wife and I to go on vacation.
Yeah.
I want to do things again.
Yeah.
And that time is coming. That time will come.
Yeah.
But it's, if I given the opportunity, give back. You know what I mean? Give encouragement to people that are going through something. Dude, it's so easy to get stuck, dude. Whether you have whether you're an amputee or not, it's easy to have a bad day and get stuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we got to work our way out of that getting stuck, bro.
What was that Bible verse you were talking about earlier that we were at the kitchen table?
I want to say it was Mark.
Mark.
It was Mark 9:27. And I have to look it up. Look it up. Let me see here.
Yeah. You have your Bible app on there?
Yes, I do. Yeah, and as a matter of fact, a buddy of mine actually sent it to me.
Yeah. And which app do you use?
The Bible app.
The U version? I think that's like the one that everybody uses. They actually have one of their big headquarters in Keller.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, Life Church.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. That guy's got a great story too. I think he's from Oklahoma.
Is he really?
The guy that started that app.
Really?
It's huge, man. That thing's huge.
I use it all the time.
1 billion users or more, or something like that.
Yeah, we use it. We use it each morning, bro.
Yeah.
This morning's devotion was so awesome. It was talking about even in your weakness, I am strong.
Yeah.
And my mercy is sufficient. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the verse 9:27, it was in Mark, and it says, "But Jesus took him by the hand, lifted him to his feet, and he stood up." At that night, if it wasn't for that individual to put a tourniquet on, I never would have stood up. I never would have gone home to see my wife.
Wow.
I never would have been home to see for my mom to see her son.
What did he use as a tourniquet? Did he have a tourniquet? Oh, he
took his belt off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'll never know who he is. Yeah.
Well, maybe he'll watch this podcast and reach out, or maybe not.
Dude, if it's meant to be, so be it, man. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you a tripped out thing is my wife and I are going to a routine visit to see my orthopedic surgeon. Mm-hmm. We're in the hallway, and there's a long line of people in the hallway. My wife sees this lady pushing this guy in a wheelchair, and they keep making eye contact, and she goes, "I know this lady. This guy was my neighbor in ICU. This is the same guy that was screaming when we both came into the ER together." Yeah, it was him.
Wow.
And we got a chance to talk.
Do you know how he hurt his pelvis?
He was in a drunk driver accident. Jumped out of the car.
Was he drunk and driving?
He was a passenger.
He was a passenger. Was he in the car with the drunk driver?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And jumped out of the car while I was driving.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so was that the right thing to do for him?
Absolutely, probably not.
No?
Jump out of a moving car, probably not a great idea.
Because it would have been better for the accident if he probably would have stayed
I don't know.
Oh, wow.
But we got a chance to talk, and he's doing well.
That's good.
I also had 3 fractures in my pelvis.
Jeez.
I had to have 2 screws put in the back of my pelvis. I couldn't put any weight on my left leg up until a week and a half ago. I couldn't put any weight on my leg.
So are you done with your surgeries now? Is that pretty much done?
All the drain tubes have been pulled out. I had a tube in my liver that was just pulled out a few weeks ago. as soon as it was pulled out, man, I had a week-long fever. I was like 101, 102 for a solid week because some of the bile was still sleeping into my
Jeez.
body. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Yeah. But we ain't stopping, man.
No, you're gonna keep grinding, keep going.
I mean, you saw me when you came to my house today, man.
Yeah.
I got in my walker and gave you a hug, man.
You did, man.
But I got to be careful because I fell last Friday.
Did you really?
I fell on my stump last Friday, getting changed in my bedroom.
Are you learning how to break fall from there, or do you?
Dude, I fell right on it, and it hurt so bad. I thought I did more damage.
You're gonna have to start doing some break fall practices. You know,
I don't want to
jiu-jitsu
fall.
mat.
Yes,
but you got to practice, man.
Yes, I do.
You get comfortable and learn how to fall. You know,
right?
That's it.
I mean, I knew how to fall with two legs.
Right.
It's a little bit different with one leg.
Yeah. It's kind of like wrestling. You know, you're gonna get injured if you don't know how to fall. If you don't know how to land when somebody throws you, or you're jumping off a top rope, or you're flipping, or they're body slamming you, or suplexing you, or supleting you.
Well, you know, shame on that person that wants to body slam a one-legged man. Shame on them. You know, that's cold-blooded. You know what I mean? I'm just here to go buy some groceries, and you want to body slam me in the middle of aisle 10.
See,
shame on you.
So now you're gonna have to start coming doing comedy with me.
Oh,
dude. Do comedy.
Oh,
yes.
Dude.
Yes. I took Donna with me to see some of my buddies do comedy the other night. She knew somebody. One of her guys she grew up with was blind, and he was up there doing comedy. And he's only been blind for 5 years. And but he was up there doing comedy, and I mean, I've started doing the comedy right after my divorce. So it was me and some of my divorce buddies are up there like talking shit.
Yeah.
And it's been kind of therapeutic, man. But you should come, man. You're a funny guy. And you got a great voice, and you got a great story, and then you can just make shit funny.
Hey, dude, I will be a great patron in the crowd, man.
No, man, do it.
Yes.
If you want to talk about mind, like getting your mind like tough, like your mind strong, get up there and tell jokes, man. It's scary.
I'll tell you what,
it's scary.
Even better, commentate about a fighter and then let them come and tell you about what they thought you were commentating.
Oh, no.
That's mental toughness, man.
That's true, too.
They may disagree or agree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
They can fight, too.
Oh, yeah.
Most likely the guys heckling in the crowd probably don't know how to fight.
Or get somebody's name wrong, which I've done.
Yeah.
I've done. I remember I was announcing this guy. Dude, God bless him, man. I was announcing him, and I said, standing at 4'5", the dude was 5'4". And
for a short person, that's a big deal.
He says in the corner, he goes, I know I'm short, but I'm not that short. And I had to keep on rolling with the announcements, man. And I felt so bad. Yeah. But yeah, get somebody's name wrong, which I will do from time to time. I will mispronounce somebody's name.
Yeah. That's not as bad as I think saying 4'5". That's kind of messed up.
Yeah, but he laughed it off. He's got a good heart.
Did he win? Hopefully he won.
He did win, I think.
I hope so.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so, dude.
He's gonna get his ass because of he's got that in his head. He's like, man, this dude's like, no.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to announcing again, dude. It's gonna be emotional. I'm still working on my voice, still getting it back.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but it was a lot of the breathing tubes, the intubations.
I mean, I know it's not 100%, but it sounds
good.
The
voice isn't 100% right now, but it's getting there. It's just a lot of the breathing treatments. Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah.
Just when you think you're about to sleep in the ICU, here comes a breathing treatment at 2 a.m. Oh, and one of them smelled like rotten eggs.
The treatment?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, wow.
And I couldn't eat. There were times where I was begging for ice chips.
Ew.
Yeah, but it's the nature of the beast, man. Yeah.
Man, but it's good to have you back and seeing you.
Yes, sir.
We're going to see you in the fights. You said you're going to be there April 7th?
I will be there April, but I will not be announcing, I don't think. But we'll see.
Be in attendance.
I'll be in attendance, man.
Yeah.
It'll be my first time back in the scene.
Yeah.
I'll be in my wheelchair.
Hopefully, maybe by then, I can buy you a drink in April.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm just, like I said, man, I pretty much cut my liver in half. My ribs pretty much cut my liver in half. The liver can grow back.
Yeah.
But yeah, you buy me that beer. Let's make sure we're not going to.
Is that what you normally drink is beer?
I mean, I like my Terramana tequila.
Yeah.
I like my beer.
That was a good tequila that you.
It was a good tequila.
It was good.
Smooth.
It was so smooth.
Right?
It was good.
Yeah.
I mean, not just because The Rock makes it.
Right.
I mean, if it was bad, I would be honest and be like,
yeah,
bro, that that is dog shit.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Be honest.
Yeah, be honest.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
I didn't make it, so I'm like, hey, whatever, you know.
Yeah, but it was good though.
Right.
But you tried it because of The Rock?
Absolutely.
You guys have the wrestling.
Well, this The Rock, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a go-getter.
Is he probably your favorite wrestler of all time?
Absolutely. He's like one of my top 5.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who's top 5? Go.
The Rock, The Undertaker, Ric Flair. Who is it, man?
Kevin Hart?
Jimmy.
No?
I used to love Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Yeah, Jimmy Superfly
Used to
Snuka.
love
Yes.
old school Jimmy.
You do the claw.
Yes.
Right on your forehead and
Yes.
squeeze your fucking head.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
And I really used to love.
There'd be blood running down their face.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
And I used to love the old.
Did you used to practice the claw on people?
I did, man. Who
Yeah.
didn't practice the claw?
Just fucking.
But I used to love the old school wrestlers, man, like the Junkyard Dog.
Oh, Junkyard Dog, Coco
and then
Beware,
Kabuki, and
Kabuki. Yeah.
yeah, man.
The Iron Sheik.
The Iron Sheik.
The Iron Sheik was a Persian Iranian villain.
Really? Yeah.
He always played the heel. He played the villain.
Yeah, he did.
In the wrestling, it was pretend, but people still loved him though. They still like him. Like he was like a villain, but he was like a beloved villain. You know, he was kind of cool. You know, and he was a champion too.
Oh, yeah.
And then I remember when him and Hulk Hogan had those super fights. Man, it was like USA versus Iran. It was epic, man. It was like you want to be an American or get through it.
But my boy Lance Hoyt, who wrestles for AEW, man. Just an awesome, great-hearted guy.
Yeah.
Him and his wife came to visit me in ICU, and dude, the talks that him and I had were just priceless. You know, he still comes to the house to visit.
And he's still active?
He's still active, man. And he's such a great
What's his
human. Lance Archer is who he wrestles as.
Yeah, Lance Archer.
For AEW, and he's a beast. Bro.
Yeah, is he? What's he like, a technical guy, a mat technician, or like a high flyer, or like a big guy? Or?
He's a big guy. He can do it all. He can get on the top ropes.
How big is he?
6'6".
6'6".
Dude, I've gotten kicked in the face by that guy so many times. I've gotten chopped by him. Oh, he can hurt you.
Yeah.
He can hurt you.
And he's pulling back and still hurting you.
No, he's not pulling back, dude.
He's hitting
He
you?
is going to be like, you're going to feel every bit of this.
Damn.
Oh, yeah. You got in here.
See, I couldn't do that. That's why I prefer fighting, because I got to give back. I can't just have some dude just kicking me and hitting me like for real without me hitting him back. It's like,
well,
no, we're going to be fighting for
sometimes,
real.
man, you're into some old school wrestlers that are going to be real stiff.
Yeah.
And that's when they go 100% and hit you.
Mm-hmm.
And they're stiff like that to teach you a lesson. And if you're green or you're a new guy, you can't take it.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna leave on a stretcher.
Yeah,
that's just the way it is. You better be able to take it.
Yeah, I'd be on a stretcher. I couldn't do it. Yeah, I couldn't do it. Because fighting's different too. You're trying to inflict as much damage and not take the least amount.
I've taken enough.
I'm not trying to get some dude throw me around, and land on me and hit me like
I've
that.
had enough damage, dude. I've had enough.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much done with pain at this point.
Yeah.
I've had enough pain, bro.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
My pain is full tank. I've had enough.
So do you think you'll get back into jiu-jitsu at some point ever?
I don't know, man. My wife does it. There's a guy at the training facility who has a prosthetic above the knee, and he's a professor.
Oh, wow.
Oh, dude.
He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. That's amazing, man.
Yeah. So who knows, man?
Yeah.
Who knows? You know, I love working out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna have to get with you. I've been saying I was gonna start lifting for like the past 10 years. I don't lift anything.
It's so much fun, dude.
But I need to start.
Yeah.
You know, so just get stronger, and
it's
as we get older, man, you gotta keep the bones strong, the muscles strong,
dude.
Keep your bone density.
It really does a lot for you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they said that had it not been for me working out, who knows where my body would be after the accident.
Yeah, most people probably wouldn't have made it. That's
what they say, man. But I'm here, brother.
Yeah, you made it. You're here, and
we're thriving,
man. Yeah.
We're not just surviving; we're thriving. Absolutely.
Yeah. How long have we done so far? Let's see. An hour. We've done exactly an hour.
So on that note,
you're good.
You guys have a good night.
Hey, we'll be back for more. This is our first one with Tony here.
Yeah, absolutely. We got more to come.
So we got more, and then we'll do follow-ups.
Yeah, we have when we hit corners and we turn corners of success, man. We'll tell you guys all about it. Who knows? You guys will be there for the new wheelchair, for the new prosthetic.
Yeah.
When we get back to XKO, we got a lot to talk about. Yeah.
All right, brother.
All right, man. Love you, man. Get over here, you. All right.
All right.
I'm gonna go pour you another drink.
Yeah, pour me another drink.